Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Market Update Show. And today I'll be breaking down the sentiment data as well again, and economic data and the CPIs, as well as tomorrow we have FOMC rate hikes. And I'll be doing technical analysis on the QQQ, SPY, and Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft. And today there's a request from someone on subscribers that they want to check out AMD and NFLX, so I'll be doing them really quick at the end as well. And those are pretty popular tickers, so if you just so happens to be playing those tickers, feel free to take a look as well. And I'll be putting the timestamps in the comments below in the YouTube, where you can just click on the timestamp and it'll jump to the stock that you want to look at. And let's get into it. So right now we are take a look at the rate hike. So after today's CPI data, which came in at estimate was 4.1%, and we got 4%, which is a lot better than 4.9% from last month, which is a huge drop for inflation, which is a good sign for the bulls, and hence why our rate hike was about 70% to 30%. Now it's shifted to 91% due to it being a really good inflation data. So tomorrow we have PPI data coming in, which is also in inflation data as well. Usually when CPI comes in good, PPI will also come in pretty aligned with CPI. Usually a little bit different, but we won't be expecting something too dramatic out of the norm due to CPI coming in pretty aligned and good as well. So that will probably give us a for sure rate hold this month. And next month, right now it's priced in for a hike, but it's anyone's guess as well, because we have another CPI data coming in before the next hike. So we'll have to take a look at. And Thursday is going to be jobs claims, and as well as the manufacturing index. And I don't think this would matter that much, even though it does move the market, especially sometimes when you're trading in the smaller time frames. You'll see those big candles in the 5-minute time frames. But other than that, the FOMC is the most key one everyone is going to be looking at. And so is this going to be like a sell the news type of event due to how much we have been running up towards it? We'll see tomorrow. So right now we're greed index. We are at 80 extreme greed. This is historically pretty high for the market. So we have to be a little bit cautious, especially when we're going into an FOMC meeting tomorrow. That could potentially be solid news, but as of now, the chart is telling us there is no red flags at the moment. But anything could change, obviously, in a day. But same thing, sentiment data from last week is extremely high, roughly a 15% jump from bullishness, and you can see the decrease in bearishness. This kind of sentiment can stay bullish for a while due to it just flipped last week. That's why maybe we're seeing Monday and Tuesday as well, CPI coming in nice. We're still having 2 bullish days. We'll get this data again Thursday, and we'll see if it flips. And what I am seeing is there is a lot of hedging going into tomorrow, so potentially that's why market could not drop in the last 2 days. So if the market is going to have a pullback, not like a huge crash or anything, like just a slight pullback on the daily time frame, just like let's say we come down here or even down here. If we come down all the way down here before this pivot, and it will still be a daily uptrend, healthy for the bulls. That's a 4% pullback. So let's say we even pull back 4% on QQQ. It's still a healthy pullback. We still have a daily uptrend on QQQ. So that's how strong the market is at the moment. Let's say we come all the way down here, and this is the pivot right there for the daily pivot. So still in an uptrend. But if that happens, then the bears can start looking for the next bounce to be a potential daily lower high being set, meaning this high is lower than the previous pivot high, and that is an area where the bears would like to get into, load up their shorts position, and potentially set a daily downtrend if we do break that pivot again. But obviously that is like 3 steps ahead of us right now, because we don't even have any of the moves at any moment right now. But obviously we are extended, so we just got to be patient. So I will be breaking down QQQ and then SPY and then the rest of the big tech stocks in order. And so if you can skip to any of other ones if you want to look at other ones. So let's zoom into the smaller time frames for QQQ. So let's go to the hourly. So hourly right now is in an equilibrium, meaning we are tightening up, big move up, CPI, we can move down, you move up, and it's just tightening up into a tightening range. So that range would definitely break tomorrow on the hourly. So whichever this way breaks, as well as the FOMC would dictate our next move. What we want to see is, if you're a bear, I'm going to give you guys both perspectives from both sides because my unbiased opinion. So if you're a bear, you want to see something like this. Big enough drop on the hourly for your next bounce. Next bounce here, you want to scout the lower high where you can potentially form an hourly downtrend. Just like this one here. This bounce is very shallow. This should have been a break for the bears, but bears couldn't do it. So, and we bounce. Also cover when bears had no follow through. Bulls, they're perfectly fine. Hourly uptrend intact, everything intact, and daily uptrend is in your favor. Weekly uptrend is in your favor. Monthly uptrend is in your favor. So you have nothing to worry about other than potentially taking profit somewhere when it hits your targets. And so, as long as that continues, you have nothing to worry about. You just I was talking about it yesterday, where if we do hold this level right there from yesterday, we are going to potentially try to get to this level, because on the daily time frame, when you zoom out, there's not a lot of resistance. You can see this very thinly traded here, thinly traded here, thinly traded here. There's a couple candles here, wicks, and also very thinly traded back there. Just a little bit of cluster here. So that's why it was not a lot of resistance when we broke above this zone. You can see that zone is more of a cluster down here. So we'll see how the FOMC goes. And potentially, I'm looking for a little bit longer time frame on the weekly. I'm looking for a weekly consolidation to shape up soon, because we haven't had a weekly consolidation since down here, all the way down here. We move up. Now that's a weekly consolidation. You can see that candle was close below the prior candle. Now we have a big move up. These candles did not close below the prior candle, so those aren't a weekly consolidation. It's one straight move up. So I'm looking for something to for weekly candle to close below the prior candle. Who knows? We can have another week up, and then that could be the following week to pull back, right? So we want to be cautious. We don't want to just guess where the weekly consolidation is going to be just because we're extended. Now, the very first sign, if you're a bear, you want to see that hourly downtrend. So that big move that I talked about earlier to form a downtrend, zero signs of that yet. So bulls are in absolute full control at the moment. All right, let's take a look at SPY. Same thing with SPY. SPY is tightening up into tomorrow as well. On the hourly, you can see this tightening range. Big move up, down, big move up, and just tightens up. So that will break tomorrow as well. And SPY is also above the 0.65 golden block resistance. We actually retested it, bounced off of that. So the bulls. And SPY is also in a uptrend on every time frame. Daily, weekly. Let's see, monthly should also be on an uptrend as well. Yep, monthly, daily, weekly, everything looking good for the bulls. And this is pretty much the next level I'm looking at, as well as it's holding its EMA. So you can see this teal looking line. If you don't know what the EMAs are, go to indicators, type exponential moving average. And if you want the website for this chart trading view, it's in my links in the description. It's free. Just click on it and use this website. Register however you want. Everything's free unless you update your upgrade your subscriptions, but that's up to you. So type in 12 EMA, exponential moving average, and type in 12. So that'll be this one right here, and you'll see he uses as a guide for support and resistance, and when they have been trending on it. Doesn't do it all the time. You can see right here this cluster. It's nothing for us to use there, but for here, see that it's just been trending on it. Bounce off of it, bounce off of it, bounce off of it. So it's a 4 bounce already in the recent couple of days. So that will be our short-term support guide for the bulls, meaning on the hourly time frame, the bulls are in absolute control if we continue to bounce on it. Because the bears can't even break the hourly 12 EMA, there's no signs of bears anywhere. Because if we can't even break the hourly, nothing is going to shape up on the longer time frames on the daily, right? So the very first step the bears need to do to even break the hourly down 12 EMA, and then form that hourly downtrend as well. So big enough move where the next bounce could potentially be early. No signs of that yet. SPY is definitely not as extended as QQQ, so we'll have to watch QQQ to pull back first, give us indications that SPY is going to pull back, because QQQ will definitely be leading SPY in the near term, both upside and downside. All right, so let's take a look at these ticker designs. Tesla. So yesterday I talked about we were just tightening up, a good sign for the bulls because of how much we ran up, and the sideways consolidation is in favor of the bulls if you are in an uptrend. Every trend is an uptrend, so that was a daily bull flag. So we just go to the daily. 4 hour actually looks nicer for the bull flag. So from this A to B move, this is A, this is B to the top of a move. We only pulled back to close to 0.382, meaning if it's above 0.382, that's a bull flag. And it shaped up perfectly. Out, bull flag confirmed. And 4 hour, I was talking about this since a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. 4 hour, 12 EMA, absolute full bull control guide. Bounce off of it. Bounce off of it. This is a glitch in chart. Bounce off of it. Bounce off of it. And it's continuing riding on it. So as long as it holds there and continues to ride up while QQQ is still going up at the same time, it's going to be perfect for the bulls. So we'll see when QQ starts to pull back. Let's say we pull back tomorrow. Will Tesla be pulling back just as much, or it'll have relative strength where it bounces off of it and only pulls back slightly? So that's going to be key for you guys to watch. Make sure to look at bullish charts when you're trading all these tech stocks. Make sure to look at the index of the techs as well. That'll help you determine if your stock is currently in a relative strength or in relative weakness overall. All right, let's take a look at Nvidia. It's a bull break. This falling wedge here is a bull break out of this yesterday. Out of it, retested, bounced off of it, and now we are trying for this all-time high again. A weekly bull flag confirming yes. Because look at this bottom of this move to the top of this move. We didn't even get it to 0.382 on the weekly time frame. Bull flag right there, confirming. Once we break this all-time high, it will confirm weekly. For me, we'll see if Nvidia can actually confirm that weekly bull flag. As of now, it broke out of this falling wedge. Falling wedge is usually bullish pattern, especially when we have such a large move into it, and then just kind of consolidates a bit and then breaks out again. So if we move into the smaller time frame, where is our near-term resistance? So let's take a look at that. We don't have a lot of resistance above us because we are all-time highs. This is it. Just like a couple of hourly candles above us and nothing else, right? The only resistance is people's psychological resistance, where it's like, do we think it's too overvalued, or is this price justified? That's about it. Other than that, there is no real technical price resistance above us. And because this is like 4 hourly candles, would be like 1 4 hour candle that barely has any volume. I mean, it has a lot of volume, but still, you guys get what I mean. So next level I'm looking at is pretty much all-time highs. Let's keep zoom into the 15-minute. Do we see any resistance at those levels? Let's see here. 15-minute time frame. Yeah, it's just a little cluster. We're testing it pretty much exactly here, close to the end of the day. You can see we did reject on the 15 minutes, a couple of the wicks here. So we'll see if we do get over this. Yeah, this is it. Just this one and this one right there. And there's nothing else above us except all-time highs. So we are pretty much there. So we'll see. All right, let's take a look at Apple. Apple, nothing much difference than yesterday that I talked about. 2-day EMA 12, go to the 2-day time frame. EMA 12 full bull control. You can see bounce exactly off that 12 EMA on the 2-day time frame. And if you don't break that, nothing's going to change for Apple, as well as the daily uptrend has been continuing ever since January. So if you are a bear, I wouldn't be shorting this no matter what happens, unless we start to see a daily downtrend confirm, because we have not seen a daily downtrend confirm since the beginning of this year. Just follow the trend. Why fight the bull trend if you can just follow it all the way? person that if you are a person that likes to short, just find a stock that is weaker to short than Apple. You don't want to pick on the guy that's the biggest in the room, right? So we don't want to pick on Apple. But all right, let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon is a daily break, but with lack of follow through, came back to it. So that's initially a little bit of a red flag, but it's not that big of a deal unless we break below this cluster range again tomorrow. If we come back to here into this zone, when we come back, then that's a little bit of a red flag for me. And hourly downtrend. So this is the hourly move. This is actually a shallow bounce. So if we do break this prior pivot below here, that's an hourly downtrend confirmed for me. So we'll have to take a look at that because the bulls want to see a bigger bounce from this ADB top. So that's what I'll be looking at as well. See if we do break back below after breaking out on the daily time frame. So I'll update you guys tomorrow after the FOMC. And take a look at Google. Google is the weakest of the big techs because we have not broken above the ranges. And you can see this was a false break, a bull break, and this dropped big enough where this retracement still could potentially shape up the daily downtrend for the bears. So if the other techs pull back, then Google is going to pull back as well. And you can see we're back into the zone, and we didn't, and we only bounced the 50%, so it's still favoring the bears potentially to make that daily downtrend confirming. So we'll see. We have to break this, obviously, this pivot first before really. How it's going to be key. Microsoft. Let's see here. Microsoft is big enough bounce now that the next drop potentially scouting a higher low, higher than this low. So we need the Microsoft to pull back big enough now again. Back to square one for it to for the next bounce to potentially scout this lower high. This was the part where the bear should have been scouting lower highs. It should have been broken down, but the bears couldn't do it. That's why the next day up here it's up again. So we'll see if the bulls can get over that or not. So this is cluster performance since the sideways since the 25th. Same thing as tomorrow. Tomorrow will give us either we break above all these resistance, or we will come back down here to potentially scout that potential downtrend. Same thing, we gotta zoom into the hourly. These our understanding for the hourly downtrend before anything happens with the bears. All right, so this is the AMD's requested by Ivy. So AMD is a weekly bull flag, confirming lacking follow through. So this was the pull. There's a weekly break above this weekly bull flag. Now we're back selling back into that. That's a little bit of a red flag for me, especially when we just broke it and we came all the way back into this zone again. So the bulls obviously need to come back here, come back above this prior pivot high for that weekly bull flag to confirm, because we still have 3 days left in the week, right? So by the end of this week, if we don't get back above this prior high, that weekly bear flag is a bull break with no follow through, and the bears are will likely take over if that doesn't happen. So we'll see. You can see this how high this volume was, and we came back. It's a bear volume because we didn't. As a bull volume, we'll be up here already. So we'll see if bears will follow through even more tomorrow or not. Netflix 0 flags. You can see we are in a daily uptrend, and there's nothing, no bears in sight at the moment. Even on the hourly chart, it's perfectly fine. So we'll zoom out. The next resistance I'm looking at is probably, if we do break above here, we're going to gap fill because there's nothing over here. So this level would be what I'm looking at. We'll come to fill probably around here. Fill this, at least fill this half of this gap. But as of now, QQQ might pull back, so we'll see if it happens or not. All right, that's all I got for you guys, and feel free to subscribe if you guys made it this far. And thanks for watching this far and supporting the channel, as well as I will see you guys tomorrow for the daily update after the FOMC meeting, and hopefully the trade goes your way. And I will, see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of you guys' day.